Chag Sameach, everyone. Great to be with you this evening as we celebrate Erev Sukkot and the beginning of Sukkot. You can see here that I am surrounded by the beauty of our indoor Sukkah, and I'm very grateful to Howard Goldberg from our congregation who did such a great job in decorating our Sukkah. We have our indoor Sukkah here in our sanctuary, and of course we have our outdoor Sukkah in the backyard for use for eating our meals in and enjoying with our religious school students. And I want to thank Gail Buckbinder for her work in helping to decorate our outdoor Sukkah. And we're very pleased to be together, both in person and on YouTube for our Erev Sukkot service. So let us continue or begin our service now on page 399 of our prayer book. We're in the festival prayer book this evening, page 399, for our opening song, Sisu V'Simchu.
La 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 Sisu v'simchu v'simcha macha'ot kapayim nagnu shebekol chazak hakuvim siltayim yad el yad kunanu ke'echad kol basach na'avoram sheva la'el gili Yisrael Hayta simcha v'ora.
We turn back in our prayer book now to page 121. Page 121. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Please rise now as we offer the blessing for the Yom Tov candles, the festival candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Yom Tov. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of this festival.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Yom Tov.
We remain standing now for the festival Kiddush that may be found on page 122.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'am v'romanu mikol hashon v'kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'titen lanu Adonai Eloheinu b'yahava moedim l'simcha chagim uzmanim l'sason et yom chag hasukot hazeh Zaman simchatenu mikra kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'charta v'yotanu kiddashta mikol ha'amim u'moedei kodshecha b'simcha u'sason hinchatonu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh Yisrael B'Hazmanim.
L'chaim. Please be seated. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has chosen us from among the peoples, exalting us by hallowing us with mitzvot. In your love, Adonai, our God, you have given us feasts of gladness and seasons of joy. This festival of Sukkot, season of our thanksgiving, a sacred occasion, a remembrance of the exodus from Egypt. For you have chosen us from all the peoples and consecrated us to your service, and given us the festivals, a time of gladness and joy. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Israel and the festivals. We join together in the Shechianu prayer.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, for giving us life, sustaining us, and enabling us to reach this season. Our service continues now on page 128 with the Chatzi Kaddish.
יתקדש, יתקדש שמי רבה, וילמד יפרח חירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביום אחד, ובחייך בית ישראל, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומן ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה, ויתעלה, שמי דקודשה, לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תשבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה, ויאמרו Amen.
We turn to page 130 as we rise for the Baruch Hu, the call to worship.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
Please be seated. We continue now on page 132. Let us read together. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzivaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. We continue now on page 134 with Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat olam bet Yisrael amcha avtom Torah u'mitzvot chokim u'mishpatim otanu limadita Al ken Adonai Eloheinu B'shachvenu v'krumeinu Nasiach b'chokecha V'nizmach b'nefrei Toratecha Uv'mitzvotecha Le'olam va'ed Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu ve'orech yameinu Uvahem negeh yomam v'layla yomam v'layla
Our service continues now with the Shema on pages 136 and 137. Please rise.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. We continue on page 138 with the Vehafta.
Lai, 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 ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. לי, 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 והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי Mitzavecha hayom al levavecha. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Vishinantam livanecha, v'dibarta bam b'shiftecha b'vetecha, uvlechtecha v'aderech, uvshachbecha uvkumecha. Ukshatam leot al yadecha, v'hayu litotafot beninecha uchtavtam, al mizuzot betecha, al mizuzot betecha, uvishabrecha. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
We turn now to page 141 in the prayer book. Doubting is but the forefront of faith, a faith in the infinite growth of an unbounded creation. The doubting age is one of restlessness and discontent with what is current. A doubt is an idea that is still alive. To doubt that the past has uncovered all things is to express faith that many things are still to be uncovered. To doubt that we have grown to our full stature and knowledge is to express faith that we may develop into beings of such power and dignity that we cannot as yet imagine what shall be. Our service continues now on page 142 with Mi Chamocha.
Mi kamocha banim Adonai, mi kamocha nedor b'kodesh, no ratilot osefele, no ratilot osefele, malchutecha rovanecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe Miriam. Zeri anu ve'amru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed.
We continue now on page 145. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Eternal God, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Blessed is the guardian of Israel, whose love gives light to all the world. Baruch atah Adonai, haporeh Sukkot shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We continue now on page 146.
Vayadaber Moshe et moadei Adonai el bnei Yisrael.
And Moses declared the appointed festivals of Adonai to the people of Israel. We turn ahead in the prayer book now to page 204. Page 204 as we continue with the festival Tefillah. Please rise.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufia gittihilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Agadol Hagibur V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה הרב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות, ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. Our service continues now on page 216 with the Ya'aleh prayer.
Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Ya'aleh v'yavo v'yizacher zichronenu, v'zichron kol amacha ben Yisrael lefanecha l'tovo, ulchen ulchesed uldrachamim, ulchayim l'shalom, B'yom Chag HaSukkot hazeh. Zochrenu Adonai Eloheinu bo litovo,
Amen.
ufoktenu bo livracha,
Amen.
v'hoshienu bo l'chayim.
Amen. Our God and God of our ancestors, be mindful of your people Israel, and recall our merit for good and grace, and in loving kindness and compassion for life and peace on this festival of Sukkot. This day, remember us for well-being. This day, bless us with your nearness. This day, help us to a fuller life. And now we will continue on page 224 with Shalom-Erev, our prayer for peace.
Shalom Rav on Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav on Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav on Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav on Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov be'enecha livarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol et u'b'chol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav on Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav on Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Baruch Atah Adonai Hamvorech et Amo Yisrael B'Shalom.
Thank you, Cantor. We take a few moments now for our own silent prayers and reflections.
Oseh Shalom Bimlamav Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yemru Imru Amen Yaseh Shalom Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael.
All right, friends, before we continue, I forgot to mention, normally, of course, we have a barrier here for safety between Cantor and I, and the Sukkah, we have a little plastic sheet here just for extra safety for our service this evening. Now, before we continue with the Hallel and the blessings for Lulav and the Etrag, I thought I would share a little bit of wisdom. Of course, we are dwelling right now, or I am dwelling in the indoor Sukkah. This is a symbolic Sukkah. Of course, the real Sukkah is outdoors in our temple backyard. And the Sukkah, some of the mitzvot, some of the commandments around the Sukkah are that you can have up to 3 walls, closed and one open. And the roof of the Sukkah, as I mentioned to some people who were here earlier, has a very special name. It's the hardest word in the Hebrew language to pronounce, and I know you know it, so don't say it there. Who knows what that is? It's the schach. Try saying that. You ready? Schach. Schach. That is the name of the roof of the Sukkah. And of course, traditionally, the roof of the Sukkah is to be open so that you can see the stars. And, traditionally we dwell in the Sukkah for 8 days. We have our meals, and so people will sleep in the Sukkah. My daughter likes to camp out during Sukkot in the Sukkah with the rabbi. So we always enjoy doing that. And so if you're in the Sukkah and it rains, what happens? You get wet. You get wet. That's the story. Of course, the Sukkah symbolizes the 40 years of wandering of the Israelites in the desert when we had no permanent home and where we had to continue to move our Sukkot, our booths, from one place to another. It also has an agricultural meaning in that in this time of year in Israel there was a harvest, and many of the farmers would dwell in the Sukkah and sleep there while they harvested to continue to get the harvest done. Now, along with the sukkah, there is the blessing for dwelling in the sukkah, which we'll get to in a moment. We also, the other big mitzvah of Sukkot is the shaking of the lulav and the etrag. As I mentioned before, there are two seasons in Israel: winter and summer, otherwise known as the wet season and the dry season. The wet season begins now and continues through Pesach. And in Israel, you need a lot of rain because if it doesn't rain in the wet season, you're going to starve during the dry season. So, by the way, you know how they solved that problem in ancient times, by the way? Cisterns. Anybody been to Israel? When you're in Israel, you can see they build these incredible cisterns like on Masada. They have these cisterns that they dug in and they coat them with plaster and they let the rain and they gather the rain to be able to use at times of drought. Anyway, so we shake the lulav and etrog to show the fertility of the land and to plead with God to be sure that we get enough rain that we need through the wet season to carry us through make sure the crops can grow. There are 4 species that we shake. The first is the etrog, the citron, and we did a little smell outside, and it turns out you can smell the etrog through your mask. You can smell the etrog through your mask. So there you go. So the etrog, the rabbis taught, represents the heart, and we are to act with kindness and love, as this symbolizes. Then we have the palm branch, which represents the spine. We are to be upright and just and act with justice. Then we have the willow, which are kind of the long, elongated leaves, and the rabbis taught that represents the mouth, and only good words and good and kindness should come out of our mouths, and not lashon hara. Anybody know what lashon hara is? Lashon hara is evil tongue. That's the literal translation. It's gossip. So we are to stay away from gossip and use our mouths for kindness. And then, of course, there is the myrtle with the little leaves, which represent the eyes, that we should use our eyes to see the goodness in those around us. There's another interpretation which says that in Judaism, we are taught to both practice good deeds and study. Those are the two of the most important mitzvot is ma'asim tovim, good deeds, and Torah study. And the etrog represents both of those because it has both smell and taste. So this etrog represents being good in both deeds and study. The palm tree represents not being good in either because it does not have any scent and it does not have any taste. I wouldn't recommend eating this palm frond. I don't think it would taste very good. Then we have the willow. And remind me again, is that the one with the smell or without the smell? No smell on the willow. Good taste, apparently, on the willow. I don't know how that is either, but. Oh, the date palm. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. So the date palm has the taste because you get the dates from it. Okay, very good. All right. So the willow, neither one for the willow. And then, of course, the myrtle. So anyway. So there are many beautiful interpretations of the lulav and the etrog. And finally, you shake the lulav and etrog in all directions because God is everywhere. So at this time, we are going to continue and offer the mitzvah of shaking the lulav and etrog. The blessing is on page 307 of the Festival Prayer Book, page 307. And Cantor will offer the blessings.
Hoshia et amecha, uvarech et nachalatecha. Oreim v'nasaim ad ha'olam. Hoshia et amecha, uvarech et nachalatecha. Oreim v'nasaim ad ha'olam.
Deliver and bless your very own people, tend them and sustain them forever. Rejoice in your festival, and you shall have nothing but joy. Continue the blessing for the Lulav and Etrag.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al natilat lulav.
Our praise to you, Adonai, sovereign of all, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to take up the Lulav. And we continue now with the Shechianu for the first day of Sukkot.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'chigionu lazman hazeh.
We're going to turn back in our prayer book to page 294 for the Hallel, the songs of praise, and we will shake the Lulav and Etrag during the Psalm 118. But first, we begin on page 294 with the blessing for Hallel.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lekro et Hallel.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of all, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to recite hymns of praise.
Hallelujah, Adonai kol goyim, shabechu kol ha'omim, ki gavar aleinu chasto ve'emet, Adonai le'olam hallelujah.
Praise Adonai, all you nations. Extol God, all you peoples. For great is God's steadfast love toward us. The faithfulness of Adonai endures forever. We continue now with Psalm 118 and the shaking of the Lulav and Etrag.
Hodul Adonai ki tov, ki le'olam chasto, ki le'olam chasto. Yomana Yisrael, ki le'olam chasto, ki le'olam chasto. Yomruna Beit Aharon, ki le'olam chasto, ki le'olam chasto. Yomruna Yireh Adonai, ki le'olam chasto, ki le'olam chasto. Baruch haba b'shem Adonai, berachnuchem mi beit Adonai. Eni ata ve'odeka, Elohai aramameka. Hodul Adonai ki tov, ki le'olam chasto, ki le'olam chasto.
And of course, we have to smell the Etrag. Delicious. After our service, anyone is welcome to come up and perform this mitzvah too with me as well of shaking the Lulav and Etrag under our Sukkah. So let us continue now with the Aleinu prayer. That may be found on page 322 of the prayer book, page 322. Please rise as we open the ark.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gedula liyotzeh breshit, shelo asanu higoyeh haratzot, velo somanu כי משפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהן וגור עלינו ככל המונם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Please be seated.
שהונות השמיים ויוסר הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו כה כתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והשיבות אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We turn now to page 334 in the prayer book. As we prepare to recite the Kaddish Prayer, our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. I'll invite you to rise now as we join together in recalling our loved ones, and we recite the Kaddish Prayer. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalmat divrach hiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam ulamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dikudisha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Thank you, Cantor and Kevin, for our beautiful music this evening. I want to wish everybody a Chag Sameach and a happy Sukkot. Next Monday, we will be having Simchat Torah here at the temple, outdoors, 6 p.m. I will have to shorten that service because when it gets dark, that service is over. It got dark about 7 tonight, didn't it? You're gonna be in the dark because I don't know if I can shorten it that short, but we'll do our best. But we're going to celebrate the Torah, and we'll have treats to go, and we will enjoy the concluding of the Torah and the beginning again of the Torah for Simchat Torah next Monday. Of course, we have services this coming Friday evening at 8:00. This is our DPEC Shabbat, celebrating the Daniel Pearl Education Center. We're looking forward to that. So let us conclude now with another petition for water, Mayim from Cantor. We're ready.
Shaftem mayim bisason mimane Yeshua. Shaftem mayim bisason mimane Yeshua. Mayim 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 mayim. Oh mayim bisason. Mayim 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 mayim. Oh mayim bisason. Hey 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 hey. Mayim 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 bisason. Mayim 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 bisason.
Chag Sameach, everyone. Chag Sameach. Hey, Kevin. Hold on one second. I also just thank you. Excuse me for interrupting. Just want to say a special thank you to Howard Goldberg Howard Goldberg. He can't hear me. Howard, I want to say thank you so much for the beautiful sukkah you've done for us. We really appreciate it. Not at all. It looks tremendous. It looks tremendous. All right, Kevin, sorry to cut you off there. Thank you very much. Perfect. Come on. Come on over. Okay. Palm the stem down. Right hand on the Etrag, left hand on the Lulav. Perfect. Right going off the button. Amen. Okay, forward. Oh, show me what you like. Right. Oh. Yes. John does potatoes. All right, smell the Etrag. You gotta do that too.
Oh, that's good.
Delicious, right?
That smells good.
Oh yeah.
They remind me every year.
Yeah.
It's like get the discount.
Yeah, right. Get the
But I
bargain.
took it out.
Yeah. So delicious. We were there were a couple of people here earlier, and one of them said to me, I thought it was hysterical, that this is actually COVID diagnosing it. So if you smell the Etrag, you're okay. And then here was the best one, like the willow has smell. So you can't smell anything because there's nothing to smell. I thought that was really good.
What is that, like necessary but not?
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. I would like to. Yes.
I'd be happy. Yeah, by the way, I'm thinking.
Oh, no, thank you. No, it's just hard because all the,
That's cool.
Yeah, no, but I would like to see your Sukkah.
It's like, very short tour. That's all I can
Well,
say.
I'll be able to say hello. So what are you up to tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
All right, let's pick a time. I want to say, Frog today, Freddie, you gotta come shake?
Yeah.
Come on,
I
get
didn't
over
take care
here.
of myself. How are you?
You guys know each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We sort of have Zoom together.
Yes.
Good.
Zoom together.
So I have a doctor's appointment at 4:30.
Sure.
And then
I'm thinking, yeah, go ahead.
anything before that's fine.
How about like the morning?
Like the fine morning.
I don't know, you tell me, 11.
11's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
I'm usually up by then.
Yeah, good. All right. Let me make sure I got your cell, which I think I do. Yeah, welcome to my life. I'm a rabbi.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm a little busy. You know how rabbis are. I always got stuff going on. Thank you, Fred. Fred. What's the matter?
I'm full of
I
antibodies.
told people, I'm a pincushion, stick me as many times with, I'm happy to take it,
Not only the inoculation, we had the monoclonal and we had COVID.
You guys,
We're just, we're
could you have done any more?
No,
You're like
I could have
overachievers.
gone to war.
Well, yeah, you guys are like overachievers here. I mean, give me a
It was
break.
a hurry.
I got you. 908-239-9258.
Yes, did I pick a ringtone for you?
I can't remember.
We had talked about this.
Let's find out. Get your phone out.
Okay.
I'll tell you right now.
If it's on, that's my generic.
We've already lived through it enough.
Oh, yeah.
Did you shake the Lulav?
Just man gets.
You didn't? Well, you should do that too. Yeah, bringing the rains from the four corners of the earth. I don't know the
People said.
side of the cross.
All right, so
This is where Palm Sunday came from. The Palm.
That was Sunday, right?
I know, Saturday. Oh, look. Are we still on? We still being filmed?
My sister's like,
Smell the entrance.
she's like, gave up.
That's what it's. Which is the Italian fruit that's chopped up and put into an Easter pie. Why? Because of this tradition.
Oh, very good.
All right, Howard, I got a question.
Thank you.
I had a suggestion that Rob was talking. Can we stand the middle one up to block the light a little bit more, so maybe create a little less glare?
Yeah, actually, this light was supposed to be done this way, and I told.
Think that helps? It looks good.
I just need to get
You want to get it, you want to,
I don't need a ladder, I just need something like it's a wedge in here. Like a twig or something from the toe.
Oh.
Maybe. Even here.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
Here, give me that frond right here, right? This red, those red seeds, yeah. Just grab that whole thing, take it out. It'll all just, no, yeah. It's like a bigger, the whole bunch of red, yeah. There should be a stem on it. Yeah. That's it, the whole thing. You're welcome, sir. Yeah, it came out really pretty.
Looks beautiful.
Once somebody came and cleaned it up.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
So how, so do you do any other service or like?
Well, we're gonna have to